Hey, this is Max. Welcome back to another CSR2 video. So I'm here on the final legs of the grand finale, winning the VW Electric R once I get through these final few races. What can I tell you? Like all events of this nature, up until about race 60, there really isn't that much of a challenge, right? Your cars can be partially built. You just need some fusions and you'll be good to go. However, by the time I got to this particular relay, both cars, both the Batista and the Noble, were not up to par to compete in this particular race. At the beginning, I tried the race and I lost it because even though my Batista does have pretty much all stage 6s, it's missing epic fusions and therefore it's not as fast. And then the Noble was running no stage 6 in the beginning, so therefore I couldn't catch these two opponents. I was able to beat one and then lost to the other. So what I did is I went back, added a few stage 6s to the Noble, and now I should be able to finish this because my Solus GT is maxed, and the other car, the Noble, now has a few more parts. So the last few races are always going to be the Batista, the Solus, and the Noble. That would only make sense because these are the three cars that are, quote, paid cars. And the first one or two cars are the easy ones to get and get parts for. So finishing up here, you expect that you would have to run the last three cars, and that's exactly what's happening. The Noble is a very slow car. Well, I shouldn't say very. It's a pretty slow car at stage 5 only, being only in the 10s. And it really takes 2 to 3 really strong stage 6s to get you into the point where you're beating these opponents, because if you look at the time that's run against you, 10.2 on that one, that's not bad. That you can beat with a stage 5, but the relay already lost, so I had to upgrade anyway. But once you get to the next race, right near the end here now, this is going to escalate quite a bit, and that's the issue, right? You look like you're going to make it with less upgrades, but then no, once you get to a certain race, you're going to lose, unless you are, in fact, that well upgraded. So as you can see, it jumped from 10.2 to 8.9. Okay, right? If it went from 10.2 to 9.7, 9.8, I could see, okay, one stage 6, two stage 6 definitely make it. It jumped a full second. So that's where race 69 is going to hold you up on the Noble if it's not built enough. Final relay though, if you made it this far, you should be fine. Okay, now something worth mentioning, Tyler Shax has been showing up talking crap about himself throughout the event. So I think they screwed that up. I think it was supposed to be Jess saying the lines that I read being said by Tyler. Like, he's talking about, that guy is really, mean and you need to be... What guy? Who can we talk about in this game that's a rich, nasty guy with a lot of cars other than Tyler Shack? So why is Shack saying that about himself? That's just dumb. But that's, again, I think it's either Jerry who was supposed to be saying those lines, or maybe Jess. Definitely wasn't supposed to be Tyler Shack, because that's like you calling yourself, a mean bastard of some sort. It's kind of stupid. Why would I do that? In any case, ramblings aside, we're just kind of blowing through these relays because, again, if you can make it this far, this final relay shouldn't be that difficult. Once we get to the relay, of course, we're going to collect the Electric R. And then the question is that car any good? My gut feeling is probably not, mainly because all electric cars up to this point have been difficult to drive. Is it likely to be a low performance point high evo car? I can tell you definitively, yes, it is a low performance point high evo car at low upgrades. It loses it very quick because a lot of its upgrades gain performance point a lot quicker. So you get huge jumps in performance points very quickly once you get beyond stage 3 on some of these parts, which takes away the nice advantageous ratio between performance and evo. Okay, again, we're back to the Noble, so that means this is the final run of the event. I have such a lead that it doesn't really matter. So very easy win there to finish up. Out of these 5 cars, 3 are fully maxed, 2 are built just enough to get this far. And again, even those 2, the Batista is very well built. Basically all stage 6s, and lots of parts missing some red fusions, versus the Noble, which has 3 stage 6 and is fully fusioned. Okay, now I won the car, right? So there you go. There's your VW Electric R. Very cool looking car, and must be good, right? Let's find out. So I'm taking the Electric R into live racing. This is built. Okay, so what I did is I put minor stages up. Stage 2 nitrous, or whatever they're called on the electric car. Stage 4 body, Stage 3 tires, Stage 4 transmission. That's how I upgraded. I put fusions in. And as you can see, it has pretty good evo at 638 performance point and 2090 evo. On the dyno, that translates to a 10.718 dyno. So should be easy wins all around, right? You have a car that runs 10.7, and you're probably going to be in a lobby that runs like 11s. So I have a lot of advantage here, but here's the problem. Notice I didn't launch perfectly, and therefore I didn't get what's important to get on this car, which is a 0 RPM drop. Can I still beat some players? Yes. I mean, I just beat this player, but he is a, what's it, Tempest 1 player, right? License level 1. That could mean any number of things, that he's new, or this is somebody's sub account. Either way, what happens is his car is unlikely to be fully maxed with fusions, therefore is not running high evo and advantage. Here's another car from the Legend, but again, notice no stars, therefore it is not a highly upgraded Legend car. I should again still be able to win, but yep, there you go. So I got the 0 RPM drop on this run. Watch how far ahead I'm going to get on that NSXR, because this is going to be a 10.6 run if I let it go all the way. I'm going to slow down, of course, because I don't want to bump myself out of the lobby just yet. But so that was an optimal run, and I was able to beat him by slowing down a lot. So as you know, that means the car was going way faster than that. That's great, but the biggest problem always with this electric car is getting that perfect launch to get the 0 RPM drop. A lot of times it doesn't want to do it. Up right there, it doesn't want to do it. Sure, I can shift kind of out of first quick and hit nitrous and run through second and third. It'll still run a decent time. In fact, against newer players who runs a little bit on the slower side, it runs a very decent time and has no problem beating them. But again, we're running a deficit of at least 0.3 to 0.4 in performance every time you screw up the launch. In the best case scenario, you still may be able to get like a 0.2 slower run, which puts me at about 10.9s. But in some cases, and in many cases, I should say, you're going to lose more than that. You're going to be like 0.3 or 0.4 below. You don't want to race cars like the Porsche 992, of course. Even with your lobby advantage, you're still not going to get far. So let's run a bot, because I'm going to try to launch this car again to see if I can get the 0 RPM drop, because that's, I'm having some hard time. And that's what frustrates me about cars like this. If it's too hard to get the launch just right, then it's not really a worthy car for me to spend a ton of time tuning and trying to play with, because it'll just frustrate me. I don't want a hard to drive car. I want an easy to launch car that has lobby advantage and is easy to drive. And there are quite a few cars like that already in the game, so why would I want to put my effort into trying to get the electric R to work, right? So the lobby I'm in is probably 12.2, 12.3 lobby. The bot is, 11.2, 11.3 lobby. The bot ran a 12.3, so that tells me I'm probably in the right lobby. Now, here's another electric car. So again, whether it's the Mustang Mach-E, whether it's the Unicorn, Audi, or this car, that launch becomes extremely important. And here, again, I didn't get the 0 RPM drop, and therefore, my performance is going to be limited and I just lost, right? The Mach-E guy, if he's been practicing and using that car a lot, maybe he got a better run. Not really. 11.2 run is just bad. It's not that the opponent's that much better. I just ran really poorly. So that is the frustration again with the electric cars. Very sensitive launch, has to be dead on, and then it usually triggers some ability to run either dyno or slightly below. But if you do not get it, you're too early, you're too late. Okay, again, I screwed up the launch there. Nothing you can do. I mean, once you screw it up, the other guy's going to run off on you, and you're just going to lose. Right? So he looks like he ran pretty fast on that one. 10.891, I think, is what he ran. Pretty good. 10.891 in the 11.2 lobby is definitely winner. Now, my electric R should, in theory, be able to beat him, but in practice, I just can't get the launch. So therefore, I can't beat him unless somehow I just get things magically better. Now, with these early and late launches, I find what you can do is shift into second and nitrous. You actually still do a little better than if you let first gear run out spinning, you're losing even more time. So that's how I would do it. 10.061 is not great. And he ran kind of slow, I think, just to let me have it. So there you go. That's the problem with this electric R. As much as I would want to love it and I want to use it, the reality is the sensitive launch combined with lost performance when that happens takes the joy out of trying to race this car. And therefore, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it or more resources. I am just going to wait until it becomes useful in some event. And in the meantime, I am going to go race other cars other than this electric R. So it'll just sit in the, it'll sit in the garage. It'll be pretty to look at, but it's definitely not going to get used for any purpose whatsoever unless it's an event. Okay, so enough rambling from my end. As you can see, my opinion of the electric R isn't that great, mainly because, again, it just does not launch well without very meticulous and nearly perfect timing to make sure the needle lands exactly on the green spot at the time countdown ends. So, if you can do it, great. But otherwise, I'm not too keen on this car. So that is my runs in the finals and also my review of the electric R. Here's the tune that I was using so you can see it. And, hopefully you have better luck with it than I do. In any case, that is the conclusion of this video. I hope you liked the video. If you like it, please leave a like. If you like my channel and would like to be notified when I put up new videos, subscribe, hit the bell, and you get those notifications. And as always, thank you for watching my videos. I'll catch you next time.